Guys, welcome to the show. You guessed it, guys. You know what that song means.
Guys, we're in the middle of the feetball season.
You're right.
I got that feetball fever.
Breaking Bad just ended. That's what the music means.
Yep.
They never once broke bad. Spoilers. Never did it.
No.
Never broke bad even once.
Was Brad Bryan Cranston's character?
They broke bread a few times, I bet.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
Anyway.
Was it a religious thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Had a lot of communion?
So anyway, football season.
Feetball fever, guys. It's striking Suns HQ hard.
Oh, you know us, guys. We're sportos. We watch the sports. We
regular Captain Sportos.
Eat, breathe, sleep sports.
I know. I've got my
Are you a betting man?
I sleep in a bed that's shaped like a football.
Dude, are you a Tibetan monk when it comes to football?
Yeah. Yeah, you know I bet lots of countries.
Dude, who's your favorite squadron?
Well, for a very long...
That one should have been funny. Okay, sorry.
Well, for a very long time, I was a fan of the New Orleans Saints.
Right.
But after they got bought, they actually had to transfer. So now they're the Salt Lake City Latter-day Saints.
Right.
So, I've been keeping up with them.
Well, I actually like, if you want to know my thing, I actually like a relatively new team. Shockingly, Cuba has their own team, the Gooding Juniors.
What?
They've been doing really good. Oh, why do we even agree to do this segment? All right, guys. They're all great. It's gonna be a great show.
The best segments are the ones that make us laugh.
Anyway, yeah, so we love football. All of our favorite teams, fantasy football teams.
Yeah, dude.
Do you play fantasy football?
Yeah.
It's like D&D except for nerds.
Yeah, well,
football nerds.
I was really good because in my draft picks, I was first, so I got an ogre.
Right.
I got 2 unicorns.
Uh-huh.
And I got a level 9 wizard.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah, what's do you fantasize about football?
Not in the traditional sense, but maybe first of all, my team, they all can breathe fire and have laser vision. But that's just one of my fantasies,
Well, that's good.
The thing is, I'm kind of confused about the rules of fantasy football. I feel like we're all winners, but nobody wins any money that way.
Well, they win a smaller amount. Everybody wins the money that they put in.
Okay.
So in that,
you maybe get to eat some donuts as a group or something.
Oh yeah, there's probably, dude. I bet that's like half the reason anybody does fantasy football.
Dude, okay.
They just want an excuse.
Half the reason men do anything is so that they can hang out and not call each other gay.
That's true. I was mostly saying it for food purposes, though.
Oh, yeah.
They're like...
Well, the food part, definitely.
Well, yeah, I need a reason to buy wings every week, of course.
Well, that's definitely it. I would
Yeah.
really look for any excuse.
Of course I need
that.
12 pounds of nachos. 2 dudes are coming over for fantasy football.
I have one friend who likes to watch fantasy football with me.
Exactly.
Where the Gandalfs fight off against the
Balrogs.
The Balrogs. Winner, the audience.
Yeah, dude.
So it's rigged.
I saw that game. I think it was nominated for an Oscar.
That's a really good game.
Yeah, right?
You know what? Anyway, that's great. We got all those jokes out of the way.
I actually missed one.
Oh, sorry.
Well, back when I said I sleep on a football-shaped bed, I also wanted to include that I had a referee body pillow. That's it.
I don't know what's going on with me today. Usually I'm better at holding off on these laughs.
It's because I'm actually funny today, maybe.
Did you take a bunch of drugs or something?
Well, I took my funny medicine.
I think I took some kind of drugs that make me think you're funny, because that's got to be it.
Jeez.
Ugh.
If only our audience could take that, then we'd be set.
I know. If only we could drug random strangers with it.
Yeah, that'd be a real treat.
Like a roofie, but for laughs.
Yeah.
We call it the
Raffies. No, we can't call them that.
No, that's something else. The Laffos? No, we'll work on that in post.
Yeah, we'll edit all this out later. Anyway, guys,
video if you can believe it, this is a video game show.
Sometimes we remember that.
My name is Tom C. I'm one of your intrepid hosts.
D. Marx. I'm a slightly less intrepid, but slightly more handsome host.
Okay, well, all right. You're like the face of the group.
Yeah.
Okay. I still feel like...
I'm the face and the foot.
A keen listener
the left
remember
foot,
that...
You're the right foot.
Okay.
I'd say I'm the ring fingers on both hands.
Mm-hmm. Can I at least be the back of the head?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me.
Dude, it's kind of like a mullet, because business in the front, that's me, and party in the back, that's you.
Well, the audience might think I have long hair then, which is not accurate.
That's true. You used to have long hair.
Yeah, you used to have long hair too.
That's true.
We used to be the Long Hair Bros.
Yeah, that was our other podcast.
Yeah, we discussed long hair and fantasy football.
Yeah. Speaking of podcasts, this is a video game podcast.
Oh, yeah, guys, video games, they're great.
Yep. Podcast over.
Speaking of that, guys, I played a game that everyone has played on Earth now, and everyone loves and is in love with. But I played it. My goal was to beat it in a day, and I failed that goal.
Really?
Yeah. It was longer than I thought it was.
Yeah, you said you're playing for like 12 hours.
I started it at approximately 3 last night. 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And I played until 6 a.m. Basically in one sitting. I did eat dinner. But yeah, I was up all night playing it. Because I was like, the ending's got to be soon. And then it wasn't soon. But anyway, the game is The Last of Us.
Yep. This has been out for a while. I haven't played it yet.
I borrowed it from a friend.
Friend of a friend.
Not gonna buy it.
Just holding it for a friend.
But apparently it's all over everyone's lips. It's the most popular game ever, you know.
It's by far the most
it's getting nominated all the VGAs.
It's the bandied about exclusive this year for PS3.
Yeah,
that's like the go-to.
It's the one you got to play. Apparently, everyone's been telling me it's so great.
Yeah,
and so here I am playing it. I probably will beat it tonight, guys. For people who've played it, I just got to the part with the giraffes. There's giraffes. I don't know why, but there's giraffes.
Are they fungus giraffes or regular giraffes?
They're just giraffes.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but it's the part with the giraffes. That
Okay.
doesn't give anything away. But anyway, here's the deal about this game. It's definitely good. Definitely some great writing, but they do one thing that bothers me the most, which is they write Ellie, the kid. Whenever somebody writes a kid, when they write him as though they're a tiny adult,
Yeah.
that drives me nuts.
Yeah, I get
And that's
that.
exactly what you're getting in this game. Like, I'm not exactly...
How old is she supposed to be in that game?
14.
Okay.
I think she turns 15 in the game. But anyway,
Did you have a birthday party?
no.
Oh.
But a year passes throughout the game.
All right.
But the point is, like, I get it. She's a kid, but like, no one can. I'm not exactly a great writer or anything. I don't know how to write characters at all. But whenever there's these kid characters who are like delivering snarky lines and like are slightly too mature,
Dude,
I can't stand it.
Dude, I can't even stand that when it's like adults who are like too clever. Because that's one of my things I
Oh,
always
dude,
say.
it's like she's on Gossip Girl.
It's one of the things I
Sorry,
always
Gilmore Girls.
It's one of the things I always say about Joss Whedon's style of writing.
Oh, totally.
And I'm a Joss Whedon fan. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But even fans, I think, would agree that sometimes his characters can be a little too clever. They always just have a little too perfect of a thing to say.
Yeah.
It's less obvious in Avengers, and it's less obvious in Firefly, which are, his probably two biggest mainstream hits aside from like Buffy.
Yeah.
But like, if you look at a lot of his other work, there's just such snappy repartee.
Yeah.
It's just a little beyond belief.
And the problem with this is it hints with this teenager character that she's like a little bit more emotionally deep and unchildlike because there's too much passive aggressiveness for a young character that like doesn't make sense to me. Like
kids can be pretty passive aggressive, especially
yeah, but this is an
girl.
adult level of passive aggressiveness.
Okay.
It's like it's not the
And I'm not trying to stereotype young girls.
No, I know, but
yeah, you get
it's
what
just
I'm
something
saying.
that is jumping out at me immediately. Is that like this character is written as a tiny adult?
Yeah.
And the thing is, this game, The Last of Us, has one of my new favorite written female characters. Like, you know how we used to say Bonnie McFarlane was one of the best?
Yeah.
She's easily better written than her. Named Tess. It's kind of your main character's love interest / partner.
Right.
It's got like a boss feel to her. But she's like well written and like feminine in a way that's very subtle.
Yeah.
And you really don't see anything like that. She's one of the best characters in the game.
No, I can appreciate that.
And everything's well written, yes. But I feel like they were going for this slightly snarky teenager.
Well, here's a question.
I don't care for that.
Here's a question. Is the small adult better than like the way that they handled kids in like Fallout 3 or like Skyrim?
I actually really enjoy the kids in Fallout because
Really?
I feel like some of the kids in Fallout are great. The kid in Herzog Mine in Fallout 3.
Oh, Kenny.
that kid is well written as far as I'm concerned. He's well written as a kid because even though he's surviving in the situation, he's making like traps and stuff. He still is a child at heart and wants to like play and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that every kid wants to play and doesn't take things seriously, but like kids still at heart are a little bit more lighthearted than like these people who are just used to it, you know?
No, I can see that.
Because Ellie in the game is like, oh, we're under attack. I guess I'll be super serious, and she like can handle everything. Like she's like the only thing that really affects her is when Joel's a little mean to her.
Yeah, there's no because I could see that in a game like that. I could see that really being a point of tension for the player, where you're trying to keep calm, but your younger companion is like kind of freaking out all the time.
Yeah,
and doesn't really understand what's going on. I could see that. Yeah,
and there's never anything like that because you're always like. She's always like, oh, I know how to use a rifle. Oh, I know how to ride a horse. Oh, I know how to use a safety on the gun. I know how to do everything. And every time your Joel is trying to be like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. And you're like, what? And like she just always knows how to do everything. And the only thing that ever bothers her is when Joel's like, I'm not going to say that I'm proud of you because I'm having issues dealing with my dead daughter. No, like that's like the only time she gets upset. And it's like too deep for that, and it's stupid.
Yeah,
it's stupid to me.
Breaks tension.
It doesn't read as a child to me. It reads as a midget.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that.
And I'm not defending a midget, but anyway,
I would never defend a midget.
I would never defend a midget. But besides that, guys, the game does deserve some of the praise it gets because the thing is,
how are you liking it so far?
Because I wouldn't have played it that much if I wasn't enjoying it. The game does a great job of constantly keeping you engaged with new things. Because you like in a game like that, you'd be like, all right, I'm traveling to this place. Here we go. But like. The things are kind of like broken up into different areas, and like you still wonder what's going on in the story, and like the tension is broken up in different ways, and it's really engaging and good. And I've been having fun the whole time, though the game is definitely challenging.
Okay,
because it's not unfair, but the game requires you play it a certain way. Because people say because the best way to describe it would be as a survival game, because it's not survival horror, even though there's zombies. It's really your goal is to. When you have an engagement, you want to see what the best route is, and it's almost always not fighting, because sneaking is super easy in the game.
Okay,
basically,
it kind of works the way Metro works.
Actually, I'm getting a lot of Metro vibes. I don't want to mention it to anybody. Like, imagine if you had Uncharted. Uncharted is basically the biggest influence of this game because it's made by Naughty Dog.
Yeah,
but you definitely feel an Uncharted game. You definitely feel a lot of Metro games because there's a lot of like underground segments or like ruined segments. So you feel in Metro. You're feeling. It's like if Naughty Dog did Metro.
Yeah,
then made it less dark. You know what I mean? And it's really neat. Here's a pro tip, guys. You want some pro tips from me if you're gonna play?
Oh yeah.
One, only ever make 2 of everything you can make because you might find another one. Number 2 tip: shivs are the coolest thing in the game, and you want a million shivs because here's what shivs do. Shivs can help you not get instantly killed by one of the strongest enemy in the game.
Yeah, they have those in Resident Evil games. They have like tasers.
Yeah.
That like if you're in the middle of like a grapple attack, you can just take one out and zap them.
And also they bust open doors that can't be opened any other way can be opened with shivs. So they're super useful, and they're one of the things you can make. And they're great. So here's the deal. Basically, the zombies are fungus men, right?
Yeah.
They're made of spores. But the thing is, most of them are not that dangerous, like because they can't see at all. Because like they're all hearing zombies, right?
Yeah.
And so the thing is,
because their heads basically like explode.
Yeah. The normal ones not necessarily. Like, but the bad ones that everyone's scared of are clickers, which can't see at all.
Right.
The other ones can't see good, but these ones can't see at all. But like when you have a shiv, you can defend against them because they're an instant kill when they hit you. Basically, every enemy in the game is an instant kill. Right?
Right.
That's why it's so hard, because you got to try and keep them away from you, because they're really strong. But
I like that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, because the combat doesn't feel unfair either, because usually a human enemy takes about 2 or 3 hits with a 9mm, maybe 2 hits with a 357, maybe 1 hit with a hunting rifle, which I think is fair, and you don't take many hits either. But the combat's all fair and feels good, but I'm really just there for the story, which is constantly dragging me back in.
Well, that's kind of the way it worked for me with Uncharted.
It's very similar to Uncharted in that regard for me.
You know, the gameplay of Uncharted is good. I know you're not as big of a fan of it as I am. I think it's
still neat.
I think as far as like that kind of acrobatic combat, I think I prefer Uncharted style of combat to like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
But yeah, again with Uncharted, the gameplay is good, but I'm really there to see the adventure unfold.
And if you like that kind of thing, then you're definitely gonna like this game because it's very similar. And it's like I almost wish I'm playing on normal. I almost wish I played on easy because really I just want to get to the story.
Yeah,
and it's a shame. I mean the combat's all fun, it's all interesting, but man, that story keeps dragging me back in. And there's some cool characters and some well written stuff, but. God, I want to get that story done. I can't believe I haven't beaten it yet. I'm like super bummed about it. I was like, I'm going to beat it and I'm going to talk all about it. But like, it's longer than I thought. There's been like,
do you think you're close?
I think I'm really close, but right. I've said that 3 times.
Yeah.
Cause like, the last part I was like, I'm sure they're ending the game here. And the time before that I was like, this has got to be it.
It's Army of Two all over again.
Dude, it is. Like, I don't know what they keep doing it for, but like, I'm always like, this has got to be it. And then it never is. I'm like, this guy's looking awfully dead. Nope, still doing it. We're still doing it. There's a lot of neat characters, and it's all really good. Is it the game of the year? I don't know. I forgot what other games I played this year.
Yeah, I played Saints Row 4. Because we've been trying to think about this kind of stuff.
Oh, Dragon's Crown. I'm putting Dragon's Crown ahead of it.
Really?
I love Dragon's Crown. I don't even need to play it. It's so much fun.
It's fun, but like, is it story wise?
Well,
is it better than...
the thing is, I think the ending of this game is going to be a real teal jerker.
Teal jerker, yeah.
Because apparently everyone's all like, "This is the game of the year," and I'm not really there yet. So I assume when we get to that point, it's going to be there. I can't believe it's not over yet. I was thinking this game would be like a 7-hour game.
No, I would have guessed it was longer than that.
Well, it sure is. But anyway. Also it taught me that Pittsburgh, when the world's over, don't go to Pittsburgh.
Well, I think we learned that from Fallout too.
Yeah. It's not just as bad, but it is bad. Cause, like, yeah. I keep saying cuz. But there's...
You should say nephew.
There really is a lot of fleshed out aspects of it. The world is there. There's not...
Did it take place in Pittsburgh? Like, only in Pittsburgh?
No. You just travel there at one point. But the world is fleshed out, and I don't feel like anything here is... Like, how do I say that the entire game is at, like, a 7 level? You know what I mean? Like, there's no aspect of it that feels halfway.
Yeah.
Like, it's so overall good that I can't say it's bad.
Well, that's kind of the way Naughty Dog's been working, at least with Uncharted. Because every part of Uncharted is passable. There's no part that you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You always enjoy Uncharted, and even if you do die a few times in combat and stuff, you still enjoy it. It's never really frustrating.
Yeah. By the way, I've died a million times.
Unless you're playing at, like, super crushing difficulty or something.
Died a zillion bajillion times in this game. It's super hard. I wish I'd played on easy. Because it's really not about the gameplay. It's really just about the story. God, do I hate dying, though. I die constantly.
How bad is, like, the setback?
It's usually alright. The game autosaves constantly.
All right.
So, like... But still, like, when you're hit back and you have no way of making or finding med packs, you just have to do better. And sometimes it's really hard. Because, like, if there's ever a situation where you're forced to fight and you can't just sneak, that's a bad situation. Because you always want to sneak, but then you're like, all right, I got some ammo here. My shotgun's a terrible gun. It just sucks. Here we go, though. And then, like, there's one more clicker than you thought there was.
Yeah.
And that clicker hits you and you're dead. And you're like, this is Bullocks. This is Sandra Bullock's.
This is horse hockey.
Tip number 5, Molotov cocktails are the best weapon in the game, and I suggest that everyone carries around open liquor bottles with them in the post-apocalyptic era.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Because you always want to be able to melt the flesh of zombies. Always. Oh, also, the world's most dangerous game is man. That's what I've also learned from this game.
Yeah, I read something to that effect.
You may have heard in the Yahtzee review that you're certainly not the last of you because there's a million douchebags around who want to F with you. And he's totally right. Because everything, you could deal with these zombies just fine, but there's a million douchebags with shotguns who come after you constantly.
Yeah, and I like that aspect because it gives a much more fleshed out feel.
Yeah.
It'd be like if if you were the only guy in Fallout Town and everyone else was just the feral ghouls, it wouldn't be as fun of a game because you wouldn't be interacting with anybody.
I think
it
you're
wouldn't
right.
feel real.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Anyway, in conclusion, do I think everyone should play it? I think D. Marx is going to play it because he's going to like it.
Yeah.
You're going to think it's great. I think most people would probably think it's good if they liked an Uncharted-style game. I don't know how much replay value it'll have. It's really about getting that story. For anyone who doesn't want to pay $60, just go watch the cutscenes. That'd be a wise move.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
But I'm going to hopefully beat it in the next few days. But I do like it.
I eagerly await your report.
I don't think I'll report on it next week. That's the thing.
Well, I meant just in our day-to-day
Because
lives.
honestly, if I beat it tonight, I'm going to completely forget what I think about it next week.
Well, that's fair. Guys, I'm going to not forget to come back after this break.
Fresh inside is the outside frame in the trunk wide. Or the rims thin, do it right good. Lean back, right hand on the plywood. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Ice cream, ice job, ice cream, paint job. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside.
Guys, welcome back to the show.
Guys, welcome back to the show.
Is there an echo in here?
Is there a mouse in your pocket? Wait, that's not the right expression.
I'm not even sure what expression that would be that you're messing up.
Dude, you never heard that? Is there a mouse in your pocket?
No.
Oh, dude, whenever someone goes, oh, we ought to do that, you say, who's we? Is there a mouse in your pocket?
Oh, it's good.
It's always funny, because, like...
That's something your mom would say.
Dude, that's something that, like, Lenny from Mice and Men would say.
That's not funny. Nobody's laughing at that.
I didn't mean it to be that stupid. I'm sorry, I meant that joke to be good, and then it wasn't.
Nobody's laughing there. Guys, we're sorry. We're going to just move past this.
I'm disappointed in myself.
As a culture and as a people, it's time to do something else.
Do you want to make more high school literature jokes?
Yeah.
You got any Scarlet Letter ones we should rip off?
I was just about to do Scarlet Letter, too.
More like red number, right?
Needs improvement. See me after class. Guys, video games.
Do you want to do a Catch in the Rye joke?
I never read Catch in the Rye. I never had to.
Oh, here's the story. The kid sucks, and everyone hates him because he sucks. Here's what that book taught me. If you're a douchebag, people won't like you, and they'll be right to not like you.
And that's why it's the greatest book ever written.
And that's why I carry it around in my back pocket when I go on killing sprees.
Yeah, that works for me.
Guys, speaking of killing sprees...
Too soon.
Ooh, there's... I was going to not talk about killing sprees. There's been another thing. Remember last week, guys, we talked about that Steam thing?
There's been another killing spree.
No,
I mean, oops.
No, stop it. Remember last week we talked about that Steam thing, that Steam OS. That was announced, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, they announced the Steam boxes, which are what you expect. The little computers that do whatever you want. And everyone's fine with that. But here's the thing. They announced this wonky controller. It's full of wonk. And here's the thing.
Can you bring up a picture of this wonky controller?
Did you never see it?
Nah.
Okay, guys, I'm going to bring up a picture of this. Guys, the controller is very strange, and it's made specifically with playing PC games. I'm going to try and find it in my incredibly terrible thing here. There's no way I can find it. Anyway, the point is, it's touch-based, right?
Okay.
I'm going to type it into my machine here. It looks weird, and it is weird. Here we go. See this? It looks like a mean robot.
It looks like a boombox controller.
Okay, so let me explain how this works, guys. You should bring up a picture too if you're at home. Can you describe it to the listeners?
Yeah. Okay. So imagine like an Xbox controller. Then turn it over, because that's kind of what the handles look like a little bit. They kind of look like they're curved that way.
Yeah, bizarrely.
Oh, well, that makes sense actually, because the idea is that the thumbs are supposed to be resting like this.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And then you have two things that look like speakers, like I said, and that's where your thumbs go, I'm assuming for control purposes.
Uh-huh.
Then you got some buttons next to them, and then...
a touch screen in the middle. That's important, too.
Oh, it's a touch screen in the middle, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
The little circular areas, they're saying that are like the speakers of a boombox, they are touch-based things, but they're tactile, too. And so you can basically make any area a button, which is, I'm trying to point at things like that. Like, it's a very bizarre system, but I don't hate it, but I want to hate it. Now, let me explain real quick, guys. There's a lot of people on the internets who are like, this is stupid, and it's going to suck. Also, look at this. It's important to note there's two touchpads on the back, too.
Oh, weird.
Where your index fingers would be. And there's shoulder buttons. Anyway, the thing is, guys... this looks stupid, and it's like one of the millions of other terrible controllers that have been made that suck and everyone hates. But my problem is, there's a lot of people online who are like, this is terrible. That's not going to work. But the thing is, Valve and actually just Valve, they tend to make things that are good. And I know that sounds dumb.
Yeah,
because I want to look at it and I want to say this looks awful and I'm never going to use it. But they don't release bad things usually.
No, the thing is, it's not like they're, Sony making the PlayStation Move and taking crib sheets from the Wii controller. This is something that they would have had to have sat down over years to put a lot of effort into and figure out exactly how everything works.
Yeah.
The best way to execute its design, the best way to execute, where to put all the buttons and stuff. Like, it's obvious to me that, this isn't just thrown together. This is clearly something that has come about because of research.
And if you look at this picture I'm looking at now, guys, I know you can't see him, but just look it up. You can find the one I'm talking about. They show how the Portal 2 would be binded to this. And the thing is, it's all done, like, you could still do mouse and keyboard, but instead of doing that, these things are all set up to do those things automatically in like a smart way. Like, these buttons are now quick save and quick load, which is really smart because those buttons are kind of out of the way and you wouldn't want to use them all the time. And it's good. Like, that's all smart and well done, and it looks stupid at first, but I feel like they're going to nail it. Which I don't want to be just fanboyism, but they have made good things in the past, and it's hard for me to say that I don't believe they could do good with this.
Yeah, you can't really look at anything that Valve's done and actually and be upset with it because they are consistently innovating, which is I think the most important thing. More so really than any other company out there I've seen. They're Valve and Steam. They constantly are pushing limits, constantly are taking things to the next level. And I think even though people are hesitant about their entrance into hardware and stuff, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to make the same quality product they always have, And again, I'm not trying to sound like a fanboy either. I'm not super Steam man or anything like that. But it's just looking at the evidence that's put out before me about Steam's record and their ability to turn something that it's a little weird, a little off kilter, and make it something that everybody loves.
The thing is, this is their entrance into the console market, and I think they figure we got to have a controller for it. But it's still going. The Steam box will still allow you to use mouse and keyboard and everything.
Well,
but
it's like I always say, because when you're on the couch, you don't want to be using the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do, and a lot of people deal with it. But they figured this is the way to have all the functionality of it with still the things.
Yeah, it bridges the gap.
Yeah. And it's definitely, it looks like it could be more versatile because of how many more technically areas you can do stuff with, because the entire circular areas are...
Yeah, you can throw so many macros and stuff on there. It's not even funny.
And I like that they're trying. I don't know that I would use it. I still don't think I'm going to buy one of these boxes, but I appreciate the effort there.
Would you buy a controller just to use it as a controller? Without buying the box.
If I heard enough good things about it, I think I would try it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It looks interesting.
It does look interesting. Is
there a price point listed?
No, not yet. The thing is, I do like buttons, man.
Yeah,
and that's kind of my problem.
There's something to buttons that you're not getting from a touchpad.
I mean, they're telling me these thumb pads are not touchy, not like touchy, glassy feeling, but rather like clicky.
They're probably like a trackpad.
No, they're when you touch it, you get a tactile response, which you don't get from a touchpad.
Oh, you mean like when you click down on it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like it feels like a button. Like imagine if you were poking something and it clicked you in the hand. That's basically my definition.
Yeah, that's
of
not what I was meant. That's not what I meant, but that's fine.
But it's neat. I like the effort they're putting into this whole thing. Do I think it's going to do well? Maybe. I don't know who's going. I don't know who's going to buy a Steam box or Steam OS thing that is not already a fan of Steam. You know what I mean?
I definitely. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get new market.
Anyone who was attracted to the idea of PC gaming would have bought a PC. Which sound like right? Is that stupid to say? Do you think the price point really is keeping people from it?
I think in some cases, yeah, because a decent gaming PC is going to run you twice what a console costs.
Mm-hmm. If not way more.
If not way more, yeah. So a console, you're just kind of like, oh, great. I'm going to spend $400. I'm going to spend $400 and I'm going to get a system that's going to be able to play every game this generation.
Right.
With a PC, you're like, I'm going to spend X number of money for a system that's going to be obsolete in like 2 months.
Yeah. I do hope they have some success. I just don't need it. And that's the sad truth of it. I think most people who use Steam right now don't need this thing. And the market they are trying to get to, I don't know exists as much as they think it is. I don't know if they're going to compete with the console market.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm not even sure that Valve is trying to compete with the console market. I mean, it's
almost like a halfway house between getting them into PC games.
Yeah, it's
removing them from the traditional console, getting them onto a PC platform-esque thing.
It's a weird case of, I feel like it's almost a gimmick to sell Steam.
Kind of.
Because, like...
It's not that.
Yeah, because it's...
I wonder if they're going to be selling this at a loss.
That's a good question. I honestly can kind of imagine so, because most consoles are sold at a loss.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that would literally be, we're going to use Steam to get the money back.
Yeah.
Which would be easy.
And which would make sense, because Steam's so convenient compared to the Xbox Live Marketplace, the PlayStation Network. Compared to those online retailers of digital gaming, mm-hmm. Steam's like the best. It's so good.
I mean,
I love Steam so much.
I mean, the one argument I heard, which I still have thought about a few times here, I'm going to ask you, like, if you saw, if PlayStation, if Sony was like, this is the PlayStation 4 controller, how would you respond to it then? Because a lot of people are saying if Sony or Microsoft are trying this, people will be laughing at it. And I'm not sure they're wrong here.
No, I can definitely agree with what you're saying, because when the Wiimote was unveiled, everybody was like, "What are you talking about? That's not a controller." But yeah, it's part of the selling point of the Steam box the GameCube. It's part of the selling point of the GameCube is that they have that reputation behind them of Steam and of innovation, at least in terms of computer gaming. So people are kind of willing to give it a little more of a go ahead, as opposed to Microsoft and Sony, who have kind of been buying into some of these gimmicks, quote unquote, and that have really kind of backfired and made people laugh at them. Yeah,
you said before that like they put their time into stuff, and that clearly this thing has had a little bit of effort put into it to make it make sense with this platform.
Because, like I said, compare the PlayStation Move to this.
Yeah.
Like, PlayStation Move is just such an obvious ripoff of the Wii and the way that its motion controls work, whereas this is like, okay, we're going to sit down and figure out how to, like, basically put a keyboard and mouse interface onto a handheld controller.
Yeah.
Which is bold.
Yeah.
And sexy.
It is.
Yeah.
I want to assume the way that the thumb pads would work with a mouse and keyboard game, like imagine you were playing Civ, okay? Now, basically, it would work as though you had a trackpad, and you're using a trackpad with 2 fingers, right?
Right.
Like, imagine you were scrolling like that. You could probably zoom and do the other stuff like that.
Yeah. Like the way an iPhone works.
Yeah, but whenever you click, it is a clicky button. It like feels like a click.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It still could be confusing a little bit.
Yeah, it would take some getting used to.
But then when you have like a first-person shooter game like a Fallout, the left area is then your normal thing, and your right area is then your right. Those things then become sticks.
Yeah.
The way they look and act would be more versatile than just having sticks.
Yeah, it really would play to a lot of different games, as opposed to... Because, like, this is a controller I could see playing games more along the lines of, like, a Baldur's Gate or, like, a Neverwinter Nights that's, like, a little more, like, squad-based, you know? Those kind of old squad-based things.
Yeah.
Or even more recent games like Dragon Age, you know? The PlayStation controller kind of sucked for playing Dragon Age. It's one of the reasons why I wasn't able to get through the game.
The Xbox One sucked too for you.
Exactly. This controller might actually work for that.
Let's think about what it definitely wouldn't work for. 1, fighting games. Any kind of game that required quick response or fast multiple button presses, I don't see working well on this.
No,
definitely fighting games are not even a question. But there's no way you could.
Until very, very recently, and still really not, I never imagined playing a fighting game on a computer. It like doesn't even cross my mind at all.
That's true, and there isn't
Fighting games are so in the realm of consoles for me. Like the fact that you have Street Fighter for your computer boggles my mind.
I mean, there still is a lot of people who agree with you, and the thing is, when you have a PC, you can just buy. A lot of people will buy whatever controller they want for it.
Yeah,
which is the perk of having a PC. A lot of people would get like a joystick too if they really cared.
Stick.
If they cared that much about it. I can use my fighting thing of choice is the PlayStation thing, and I can just put in my PS3 controller now. And so that's all fine. And I'd still be able to do that if I bought a Steam box. I think.
Yeah, that's
I'm actually not sure if I could use other controllers for a Steam box, now that I think about it. I mean, maybe. It's on an operating system. I'm not sure if it would install right or if Microsoft would try and block that. It's on Linux, though.
Yeah.
So I think maybe they'll be able to get away with that.
Possibly. I honestly don't know.
That's an idea I didn't think about before. I don't hate this. I want to like it.
I almost feel like they wouldn't just for a brand thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's the reason you can't use a PlayStation 3 controller on a,
yeah,
on a
but
360, even though, they both essentially run by USB ports.
But the thing about Linux is that it's open source and that it's easily modifiable, and Steam themselves have
Oh, I'm sure people will find a way.
Well, they almost endorsed kind of opening up the code and putting stuff in or out. They said on their website, they're like, "Can we mod this?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And so, like,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't care. I don't care what you do. I'm Valve. I'm in Boston. Oh wait, no, they're not. But anyway, it's neat. I want it to be good. I don't want Steam anything, the Steam box, the Steam OS, the Steam controller to come out and totally bomb. I want them to do well, because I feel like this is a good shake-up of the entire thing.
I was just thinking along very similar lines that I think it's gonna.
It's shifting some paradigms.
If it does well, I think it's gonna be a big wake up call to the big consoles, because
Valve as a company tends to prioritize good interaction with the customer and generally keeping the customer happy. Like, they don't release games that are bad. They don't try and nickel and dime you all the time. Yes, Team Fortress has hats you can buy, but as a whole, Steam is a great service. Even though it's DRM and stuff, it still has great sales, and everyone still enjoys it. And people usually are pretty satisfied with it. And that kind of customer satisfaction, I feel like, makes the devoted fans who could overlook a controller that's kind of meh, or if the controller fails.
That's why I kind of said the whole thing of the GameCube just being a way to sell Steam as a product, as opposed to trying to sell itself as a console.
Yeah,
because it's less, because really what it is a way for you to get Steam into your living room, basically, where it wasn't,
which they were trying to do for a while with the big picture thing.
Yeah. And now that they're kind of making inroads there, it could really open up Steam to a whole new audience of gamers.
I mean, it's a risk to do all this work to try and do that, but at the same time, it's not a big risk because their main form of income is unharmed.
Yeah, it's a calculated risk.
Yeah,
because GameCubes aren't going to detract from Steam sales.
No, they're not going to hurt them at all. And
it is in reality a very brilliant way of working a system into such a. It's a good way of working their system into their already established retail thing. Yeah,
which, the retail thing might as well be the only game in computer selling stuff, because Origin sucks. And the thing is, they make a product that's good that everyone likes, and they're trying to put it out there in another way, and I appreciate that.
No, I really like the idea of. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah. If you had a choice between this or a mouse and keyboard, what would you pick? We're on the TV.
I mean,
we're playing Medieval 2.
Medieval 2, I would probably want the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah,
but I don't normally play Medieval on a TV.
Well, the point I'm kind of getting at is that it's still not perfect for what it needs to be. There's no way it could ever be as fast, and that. I still appreciate it being there, though, as a middle thing.
But I feel like it covers a wider range than your normal Xbox 360 controller. It's more suited for more games, which I think is good.
Yeah, I think you're right. I also don't know if you could play a racing game on this.
Well, I think I definitely think you could play a racing game.
It also this might surprise you, but it looks a lot like a pretty okay robot. Like he's kind of middling. He's got like it's like a regular face.
I still say it looks like a boombox.
It does look like a boombox, but you see in his mouth right here.
Yeah, no.
It almost has a Roberto, robot. The crazy robot.
I get robot.
I wish I could find this picture flipped up because then it would totally. Oh yeah, guys, look up the controller on your own time. All right.
Let us know what you think about it through a series of thoughtful emails.
If it was a perfect world, we'd get a beta copy of the Steam OS and this stuff because they're doing that right now. They're like sending out consoles to people.
Oh, that'd be kick-ass.
That'd be so awesome. You have to be like a certain like amount of Steam member that people like. Like I forget how the system works, but it's like if you're one of our best guys, we'll nominate you and maybe you'll get it. And I'm like, dude, I'm a best guy.
Dude, you ever see screenshots of those Steam GIFs that are every Steam game?
Yeah, dude. That's only for people who like work at Steam.
Yeah.
Work at Valve. Sorry, nobody works at Steam.
Well, you could work at the Steam division of Valve.
Guys, if you work in the Steam division of Valve or any division of anything, or you don't work, you should send us an email.
That would be so great.
We've gotten some emails recently that were very nice.
We appreciate it.
We love you.
We know what you appreciate from the Sons.
Hold on, we didn't say anything yet.
What?
You got to rate us on iTunes.
Oh yeah, you got to rate us on iTunes and watch the videos on the YouTube.
Guys, somebody's taking us up on the offer of doing some compilations for us, which I appreciate, but that doesn't mean you can't help too. Consider doing some compilations.
Unless to the Sons Army.
Yeah. You go on the YouTube and make a best of for us, and I'll pay you the big dollars.
Can we call it the Sons Core?
I thought we already did.
Well, Sons Core is gaming.
Yeah.
That's our level of gaming.
That's true. But it's not, I'm not lying to you guys. I want to see some more content out there, and I want you guys to help out. I do it myself, but you know we're busy.
And lazy.
Because
we're busy being lazy.
Well, no, we're busy thinking up what we're going to say on our speed reviews.
Found this the top 10 games of all time according to the Middle East and Africa message board of GameFAQs. What a great thing. All right, number 10, Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles.
Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles is Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles put together in that funny device. You remember it made like a tower of power? And the thing is, it sucked up all my electric, and then I had electric bill, and I had to pay the government for like 6 years. It's not good. 1 out of 10. Grade of Dotto, San Andreas.
And this one, San Andreas, local valley girl has to go to the mall and buy some pink bubblegum tube tops or something. I don't know. I didn't really play this game. It's 1 out of 10. Number 8, Tetris game for Game Boy.
Tetris is a game that was made by that Russian guy, and he was like, oh, I love blocks. And I guess he was in New York for too long. Anyway, 10 out of 10. Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past.
I actually didn't play this game. I was mistaken with a movie called Link to the Ass, which I don't think that's what that game was about, but I kind of liked it a lot. Yeah, it's a 9 out of 10. Number 6, Final Fantasy X. Final
Fantasy X is the 10th version of Final Fantasy, and you'd think they'd get it right after 9. But the 10th one, it's just got slightly better graphics. It's got more words sometimes. The translation's better. Final Fantasy 1's best version, 10 out of 10. Dragon Age 2.
This deserves to be on no best of list. Number 4, Fable 2.
Fable's a terrible series where you play as a generic guy who's generic and it's just bad, and there's no fun in there. No, sir. Maybe 3 out of 10. Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
In this one, Link's got an ocarina, and he's going to be a member of the orchestra, and he's got to make first errors. Korean parents are going to be very upset. Gets a 10 out of 10. Number 2, Diablo 2.
Diablo 2 is a game, I feel like that was a mean Korean joke.
Yeah, I really do kind of regret saying
We're going to get some mail from all in North and South Korea. Anyway, 0 out of 10. Dragon Age Origins.
This is number 1, Dragon Age Origins.
It's the best game of all time.
You know what? I respect you guys in the Middle East. You're different, and that's what I like about you. Cultural Relativism, 10 out of 10.
We did it.
Guys, we're going to talk
Good
to
and
you
Juniors.
next week.